Welcome everyone to HTF Bets, the season finale of your live Thursday show here at Hitting the Field Network. They may be kicking us out, but we have one more show, so you know we got to bring the heat. Speaking of heat, we're going to dive into our Game of the Weeks with some NBA playoffs, and Johan's going to have his fighting match because, of course, that's what he has to do on his finale. Then we're going to give you the official HTF Bets Boys mock draft, picks 1 through 10, and then, unfortunately, we have to get into segment 3, which will be our farewells. We have a great show. We're going to take our sweet time to get to that segment 3, and the season finale of HTF Bets starts now. Hello, everyone. As always, I am your host, Tyler Caron. Joining me one last time at this table, we got Johan Blanco, we got Riley Sheppard. We've done a lot of things this year, boys, in these chairs here. A lot of arguments, a lot of great moments, and it's our last show. So we gotta dive in, we gotta make it count for the people, and we're gonna start, Riley, with your game of the week. We got the Phoenix Suns going up against the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans evened up the series last night. That was a great game. Game 3 will be tomorrow night at 7:30. Suns come in as the favorite by 1 point, so pretty much a pick 'em with the over-under set at 217. What do you have in this game?
Yeah, this is a very, very intriguing game. Like the Pelicans, they tied the series, even though Devin Booker scored 31 points before he went down with that hamstring injury, and that's going to be the X factor in this game. How are the Suns going to respond? And I have an answer for it. It's going to be Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson has stepped up in this spot before with Jay Crowder, even Chris Paul going down. He averaged 16 points while starting this past regular season. The Pelicans shot over 50% from 3 with 17 makes in Game 2, which was a big reason they came away with the W. I still think the Suns are going to come away with this. Even though they're traveling to New Orleans, they had the best record, not only in the NBA, but on the road this season. They were 32-9 on the road. I'm going to take the Suns, and I think it's going to be they're going to clear the spread. It's going to be by 5 or 6.
John, yeah, do you think that Cam Johnson can step up and fill in that role of Devin Booker?
Yeah, definitely. Riley took my notes because that's exactly what I was going to say, is that Cam Johnson's going to be the one that stepped up. I mean, he's shooting 43% from the 3 this season. Not only that, but he's probably one of their best defenders, arguably, guarding probably the best offensive player on the Pelicans. Also, with Devin Booker's injury, I'm not really worried about the first round, but if it's like a grade 2 or grade 3 sprain, I would be a little more worried for the next round if they play either the Mavs or the Jazz. As long as they have Chris Paul on the floor, I think that they'll be able to win this series. I'm not really worried about it for the first round, but going further, if they want to make a long run and make a championship run, he has to be healthy.
Yeah. And that hamstring injury is just going to be interesting because that's a very debilitating injury, especially for a guard, like how he plays. It's going to be really interesting to see how he fares in the later rounds whenever he does come back.
Yeah, I'm going. The Suns haven't lost back-to-back games versus a team who finished under 500, or they happened one time this season, so I think the Tar Heel, Cam Johnson, will step in to fill that role of Devin Booker. Now moving on, we got Johan's last fight in his game of the week. We got Tyson Fury versus Dillian White for the WBC heavyweight title. This fight is, what is this? It's Saturday, 2 o'clock.
2 p.m. because it's in England. Listen, this is the biggest fight that England can make in boxing right now. The WBC heavyweight title, Tyson Fury versus Dillian White, they have a lot of history together. They used to spar together about a decade ago when Tyson Fury was getting ready for Vladimir Klitschko. But listen, Tyson Fury, arguably the best heavyweight in the world right now. Tyler's favorite word, he has herky-jerky movement. He's very elusive, and he has one of the most elusive fighting styles. But, since it's the last show, I think I should say it. Bet your life savings, Tyson Fury is going to lose this Saturday against Dillian White. Listen, I have some reasons why. One, the only top contender that Tyson Fury has faced since his sabbatical was Deontay Wilder. And no disrespect to Deontay Wilder because I love him, but he is a one-trick pony. He has that straight right, and that's really his go-to and his muscle memory. Dillian White is one of the most versatile fighters in the heavyweight division. He has great footwork. He's very elusive. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, and see, And Fury is a heavy favorite. I need to see your opinion. How is White going to handle Fury's 7-inch reach advantage?
He's going to fight on the inside, and that's one thing that Dillian White loves to do. He just loves to fight on the inside, and watch out. He's going to hit him with the lead left hook, and if he catches him, I think Tyson Fury's going out.
My thing is, I think Fury, his jab is what's going to come, because both of White's losses have came via the jab, via knockout.
And talk about a fighter, Fury, his jab is equivalent to any heavyweight's power punch.
Bet your life savings.
At his
Bet your
size,
life savings.
6'9", 275.
Bet your life savings.
I still think I'm going Fury. Round 10 to 12 for the fight to end within those rounds, plus 380. That's the bet.
And this very well could be Fury's last fight ever.
Yeah,
and
he confirmed it. He confirmed that he's going to retire after this. So bet your life savings that he's going to lose in his last fight.
All right. Wait, do you actually believe if he loses, do you think he still goes out, or does he do a little?
No, if he wins or loses, he's retiring. He already said that, so he's going to lose.
Well, so did Tom Brady.
Well, Tom Brady is not Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury is a little better than Tom Brady. No offense to anybody who's a Bucs fan, all offense to any Patriots fans, but yes, he's going out this Saturday.
So what I have is Johan Blanco is saying, bet your life savings that Tyson Fury is ending his career on a loss.
Yes.
I disagree because he's going to win. So that's where we differ. But like I said, I still think the bet to take, round 10 to 12, plus 380. That's the one that you're going to have to get on. Those odds are too good to pass up. If Fury does win, it's going to come within those rounds. Can I get a...
No.
No.
Because he doesn't believe Fury.
When would the knockout come?
Round 6 to 8.
You think it's going to be earlier? It's not going to last that long?
It is.
Okay. All right. Do you think that... All right, I'm going to move on here. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to get to my game of the week. I have the Grizzlies versus the Timberwolves. We're going back to the championship city of Minnesota, where they shocked the world, won a play-in game, and made it into the playoffs, and then picked up a game versus a great Memphis team, and then got smoked in game 2. Now they're bringing it back to Minnesota. The game is tonight at 7:30. The Grizzlies come in at only a 1.5 of a favorite. That's the lowest it's been between the two games thus far, with the over-under set at 238. I'm going straight Grizzlies here. I said before the series started, Minnesota was going to come out and win game 1. They were going to ride that momentum wave and get the best of Memphis. From there, I said Memphis will win 4 straight. And Ja Morant is the lead guy in that, obviously. Game 2, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. He's doing a little bit of everything. I think Desmond Bane, he might be the biggest surprise to me this season, the role that he has played for the Grizzlies. I don't think anyone had him performing that well, shooting that efficient, being as big of a part of the offense as it is. And then for Minnesota, if they want a chance to come out and win this Game 3, Karl-Anthony Towns has to be the superstar that he is. He has to he has to make more than 1 3 in a game if he's the best big man shooter of all time. He didn't have a bad game too, 15 points, 11 rebounds, but he only shot the ball 7 times, where Anthony Edwards is shooting, I think it was 20.
Right.
So I think that's where Karl-Anthony Towns needs to be that veteran offensive threat that he is, and take control of the game and get his shot count up to at least 15.
Yeah, no, Memphis responded exactly how they needed to after that Game 1 loss. And this Minnesota team, I think they do have a very bright future, but Game 2 just showed how quickly a tide can change in a playoff series. They got smoked. They got blown out, and Memphis is going to win. You're right. They're going to win the next 3 games now. They're going to beat them in 5 because of their bench depth. You talked about Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane stepped up huge, but it was their bench. They combined for over 50 points. Brandon Clark, Xavier Tillman, Zaire Williams each had 13 apiece. And that's why this is going to be a 5-game series. Memphis is going to sweep the rest of the way, and they're going to make it to the conference finals.
Hey, I may not have been able to pick a surefire bet of the week right, but I'm feeling pretty good about this Memphis in 5 bet that I made last week. That's all the time that we have for our last game of the week segment of this season on HTF Bets. We still have segment 2 coming up, where you will have the official HTF Bets Boys mock draft picks 1 through 10. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm in charge of the meeting this week. So you know what we're going to talk about? Basketball. The second thing we're going to talk about this week is basketball. Okay? And the third and last thing we're going to talk about is basketball. Yeah. It's ridiculous. we talking about this week?
Welcome back, everyone. Our last segment 2 of the HTF Bets season, and we have the NFL draft coming up next week. This draft is interesting, to say the least. It's not star-studded at skill positions that like kind of it was last year, but there are still some great prospects here and guys that will make their names in their NFL careers.
Right.
So we're going to start off how we did this. It was Riley went through, picked through 1 through 4. Johan picked up 5 through 7, and I finished it off with 8, 9, and 10. Every mock draft I look at is different, I swear. So ours came out, I think I like how ours came out. So, Riley, you opened it up. Jacksonville's the #1 pick, and you went with the favorite to go #1, Aiden Hutchinson, the defensive end out of Michigan.
Yeah, and look, any of these 3 or 4 guys, even, I mean, some guys that are at 5 or 6 could go #1. They very well could. Jaguars have a lot of needs, but I went with the guy who has the highest ceiling, and that's Aiden Hutchinson. He could have left after the 2020 season and probably been a late first-round, second-round pick, but he wanted to stay the extra season under Harbaugh, and now he's the consensus #1 pick. He's just a freak athlete. He's 6'7", 260 pounds, 28 reps on the 225 bench at the Combine. He started his career at Michigan. Now he moved over to the edge. He's just versatile, comes off the edge like he shot out of a cannon, and he's ended up second in the Heisman voting, and I think this is a safe pick.
Yeah, that was all of our pick on this one.
I think we're unanimous on that.
Riley, I want to go on. I'm going to combine your second and third picks. You had Travon Walker, defensive end out of Georgia, going #2 to your Lions, and then your third pick was Kayvon Thibodeaux, defensive end from Oregon, going 3 to Houston. Why do you like Travon Walker more than Tibbs?
I just think the SEC, his competition was at another level playing in the SEC at Georgia. He's a one-on-one nightmare for anybody, that any offensive lineman that try to match up with him, and running a 4.5 40-yard dash at 270 pounds is unreal. I've never seen that before, and I think the Lions are ready for a difference maker like that.
I think that that Walker can come in. He was a part of a loaded Georgia defense. So I think that he is someone that has already been around professional talent on that Georgia defensive line, and he's gonna come in and kind of adjust nice with the NFL. Now, I'm gonna skip over your fourth pick. You had the Jets, you had Evan Neal, offensive tackle from Alabama.
That's solid.
Again, just a physical specimen.
And that's another one that he could very easily go #1 as well.
Right. He has been in talks. Johan, at 5 for your Giants, you picked EKWONU, the offensive tackle from NC State. Do you like EKWONU or Neal more?
Well, either one. I'm okay with actually either one because both of them can protect the pass and the run very well. I would rather have Evan Neal. He's a much larger guy and he's a physical specimen at O-lineman, and I think that he would, provide perfect protection for not only Daniel Jones, but Saquon Barkley, who has been recently injury prone.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kelly Campbell. But either way, if Evan Neal gets taken, I think it's EKWONU. No matter what, it's going to be an offensive lineman at 5. I can't see anything else.
Yeah.
That's the biggest need the Giants have, and it's going to be at 5.
Yeah, I don't care if you're a Daniel Jones hater. I don't care if you're not a fan of how Kenny Galladay performed in his first season with the Giants. You need to get your superstar running back protection. And even if both those offensive linemen are off the board when it comes around to the Giants at 5, I don't think they will.
And I think the thing with EKWONU is he's a great zone blocker. He still needs some development in the pass blocking, but his ability to get to the second level, and especially on the outside, is why he's going to be great.
Well, that'll be easier to learn than learning how to block for the run,
Yeah.
and that's like the most important thing because that's what we're going to probably be most likely next season is more run heavy.
All right, we're going to move on to the 6th pick, where the Carolina Panthers. Johan, you think they're going to select the top-rated quarterback on most boards, Malik Willis, out of Liberty. Have you given up on Sam Darnold? Do you think it's time for the Panthers to go a different way after Darnold under center for one season?
Dude, I was never even sold on Sam Darnold. Not even 2018 when he was, one of the top-rated quarterbacks. I didn't see the hype around him. I mean, a lot of people can disagree with me, but I didn't see anything around him. I thought he was pretty inaccurate at USC. So I didn't really understand why Matt Rule was like, oh, this is going to be my franchise quarterback after Teddy Bridgewater. But I think with Malik Willis, I think you're going to get someone with the it factor, someone who's very explosive, who can run, but relies more on his mobility to get out of the pocket to find the open man, and I think that's what they need because Sam Darnold did try to run, but he was very reckless with ball security, and he fumbled a lot last season. I think that having Malik Willis, even if he doesn't start, having that quarterback competition will push him to be a better quarterback.
And that's the thing with Malik Willis is no matter what your opinion about him is, he is a straight competitor. He wants to win. He wants to be great. Right. And he has that it factor, like you said. He wants to make a big play.
My biggest concern with Malik Willis, I do think it's the correct choice because if they didn't go there, I think they need an offensive lineman, and the next best one would be Charlie Cross from Mississippi State, and that would be a reach in my opinion. I don't see him going 6. We don't even have him in our top 10. So that's where I think Malik was the right pick. What I'm worried about is how is he going to adjust to NFL defenses. Now, people will say college defense at times is better than the NFL defense because they're just like that college. You have more pride. You're playing for something, whereas when you get to the NFL, you're just getting paid. Willis is from Liberty, so not a ton of competition, but college football is college football. So I still think Malik Willis is the right pick. Now moving on, your Giants picking again at 7 after trading with the Chicago Bears. You select the corner from the American Conference in Cincinnati. You got Sauce Gardner. Tell me about this.
Well, listen, I think he has the most upside in the top 10. He's arguably the best cornerback in the draft. No one wanted to pass his direction all last season. There's a reason why they went to the college football playoffs. The reason why they were the first group of 5 team, and he was a significant part of that. And not only that, he has iced out grills. Why wouldn't I want some flavor on the Giants? Not only that, but they're considering trading James Bradbury. I think he's on his way out, so why not replace him with someone who I think has more potential?
Yeah, no, I agree. He's a big corner as well. He's 6'3", 190. He can move he's able to flip his hips. He can move really well, make cuts, and he also is a great tackler, which is a lot of problems. A lot of corners have issues with going to the NFL from college, is that they're not aggressive. They miss a lot of tackles, but Sauce Gardner doesn't have that problem.
Yeah, again, what I'm going to say, nobody threw his way last season. Right. No quarterback wanted to test Sauce Gardner. You're in the American Athletic Conference. The same thing with Malik Willis and Liberty. That's just something that we'll keep an eye on as he transfers over into the NFL caliber quarterback. So moving on to my picks now. I started at pick number 8, the Atlanta Falcons. I think they're more desperate for a receiver than a defensive end. Those are 2 needs. So I went with Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. Now, it's really, I think, 50-50 whether they go with Wilson or Drake London out of USC. But Camden, I'm going with your receiver. He was one of the best receivers in college football last year. 70 receptions, 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, 15 yards per reception. I think he is a better fit for Atlanta's offense and system, especially under first-year quarterback for them, Marcus Mariota. I think he's very quick off the line, and he's got to be more of a red zone threat, which they do have Kyle Pitts, but I think the combination of those two takes pressure off of each other, and I think that's more beneficial for Atlanta.
Well, it's not only that, but Calvin Ridley suspended indefinitely, so they are in need of a number 1 receiver. So, whether it's Drake London or Garrett Wilson, I think most likely it's going to be a wide receiver at this pick.
Yeah, no, the end zone threat between both of those guys is going to be unreal. The thing with Garrett Wilson is he catches the ball at its highest point, which is really important when you're a 6-foot receiver. He's a natural ball hawk. The Falcons would get a steal with him. Yeah,
moving on now from the Falcons to another bird, the Seahawks of Seattle. They got this pick from Denver at 9. This is a little bit of a surpriser to them. I'm going with Jermaine Johnson, defensive end out of FSU. Now, it's obvious. Seattle does have some other needs, and I do see Darrell Taylor, the defensive end that's already there, taking on a larger role in Seattle. But you're missing guys. Bobby Wagner, pick. Carlos Dunlap. What?
That's a dumb pick.
Thank you. Bobby Wagner, Carlos Dunlap, 2 of your core defensive players from the last couple of seasons. Both are free agents right now. Don't know if they're coming back to Seattle. Seattle chose to not re-sign them. Those are some of their bigger.
The Seahawks just traded for a defensive end in the Russell Wilson trade. Why would they want another one?
Because Jermaine Johnson's going to be better.
No.
How about that?
They need more. They need more people. This is the only one out of all of this that I disagree with. This is a stupid pick, by the way.
Okay, so
I would have put they need a cornerback, and you have Derek Singletary out of the top 10.
I do. So corner was where the next place I was going to go with it.
You should have went
if
with
I
that.
didn't go with Jermaine Johnson, because on the offensive line, again, like I said, I think that's a need for them. that's where Charlie Cross comes back into play. And I still think at 9, that's even too much of a reach. So I do agree. The corner was where I was going to go with it next. I think Jermaine Johnson fits the culture of Seattle more. I think he comes in, makes an immediate impact on that defense who is missing 2 of their best tacklers.
I'm looking at you,
That's the explanation for it. So our last pick, number 10, the Jets. They got this pick from Seattle. Here's a defensive guy that I'm going with. Safety Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame. He's kind of a Jabril Peppers type in my eye. And he's a guy that he can play a lot of different positions on defense. I do think they keep him in the safety spot, but his football IQ is outstanding. He stays very calm, cool, and collective when he's dropping back in coverage, and he's a great tackler. So I think that he's a guy that when you're looking at best available, he's one that you can't really go wrong with.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the money. I mean, he's 6'4", 220 for a safety. He's a physical specimen. His long arms help him cover a lot of ground, and not only does his athletic ability, but he also just has a high IQ. He makes the right play at the right time. He's shown a lot of versatility. He can play single high, 2 high, or even man up in the slot. And I'm really curious about his blitz ability too, because he's very aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that it's really good value, because I've seen him go as high as 4 in a lot of mock drafts. So having him go at 10 would be a steal for the Jets.
If they do go with Kyle Hamilton, which I think it's the better move for them, that's where they still have a really big hole on the receiving end. I think this could be a great spot to pick Drake London out of USC or Garrett Wilson, depending on who goes first. If one of those receivers are still here at 10, I definitely see the Jets taking advantage and taking one of those. But if Kyle Hamilton is here, then I think he's the guy that you have to take to help out that Jets defense. That is now, unfortunately, all the time that we have for our first 2 segments of this season finale. When we come back, we're going to get into the farewells to the seniors, myself and Johan. Enjoy this one because it'll be the last time that you will see myself and Johan in these HTF Bets host seats. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm going with Cowboys versus Giants. Why? Because I am a New York Giants fan, and I want my first pick of the week to be my team. I see an upset for the New York Giants this Sunday. Bet your entire savings, and I'm telling you right now, they're gonna win. I don't care what you say. It's gonna happen.
I have to go with the Raiders, I think, for this one. I don't see them losing.
Welcome back. It is now time for our primetime picks of the week, the best segment. I'm currently doing awful, standing at 16-10, Oklahoma State and Texas. I'm going Texas 35-27.
All right, Jeff, don't tell me your winner, but who is going to the Super Bowl?
The New England Patriots
Oh my God.
and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
God.
The
Oh
NFL is gonna make it happen.
Welcome back to the final segment of this season of HTF Bets. I only felt that it was right to open this segment since I will be taking Mr. Tyler Caron's seat next semester. But I just wanted to say some words about my 2 co-hosts, about their time here at Hitting the Field. This time last year, I was on my very first episode of Hitting the Field. It was main show, just talking some NBA basketball like I like to do on this show as well. And that was my first time ever really seeing what Hitting the Field was about, and I loved it. I knew that this is something that I wanted to continue to do. So after that semester, I auditioned for this very show here. Tyler Caron was the host, and he took a chance on me, and I can never repay him enough for taking that chance because I've loved every second that I've been up on this seat talking sports with 2 of my favorite people in the world right here. I wish I would have joined this network earlier because, I mean, it's just been a blast. I'm going to miss both of you guys a lot. I look up to you guys like older brothers. I wish to be half of the host that Tyler Caron has been for bets. I'm gonna miss every second that I spend with you two guys here. Johan, I'm gonna miss listening to music before our show. That's just something small that I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna miss arguing about stupid things like his stupid Jermaine Johnson pick in the last segment. This isn't a goodbye. This is a see you later. And that's all I have to say before tossing it over to Johnny and Austin.
All right, Bets boys. Man. I think the greatest thing that I did this semester was stay out of your way. Austin really took this show on, did a lot. Tyler, Riley, you guys have been here from episode 1. You all have been, amazing from day one. Johan, I know you got a late start, but this is your show too. Don't ever think this isn't your show. All right? Don't ever think this isn't the 3 of your shows, right? I know Nick and Rob are watching right now, and I've talked to them a lot. Y'all should be really proud of yourselves. It's not a secret, right? Those leadership reviews, right? Highest quality shows, Bets. That's because of y'all. Highest quality people are on HTF Bets. I remember about a couple months ago telling Taylor, I really didn't think I was going to get as close to Tyler and Johan as I did. I didn't think I would be able to turn to you guys as much as I have. I didn't think we were going to be as close of friends as we are. I didn't know what kind of professionals you guys are going to turn into. And man, am I proud of every single one of you. Johan, that Fox 35 job, you like to hustle in silence. You should be pretty freaking proud of yourself. You have the hardest schedule of anyone I know. You do the most out of any person I know, and you kill it. Tyler, you've ran the show with such grace, such professionalism. You're such a personable person. Every single person that I've talked to says they feel safe when you're around. When we go out, they say, man, I'm glad Tyler's here. He's not going to let anything happen to any of us. Johan, people have said, I'm really glad Johan's in this room. I'm really glad these Bets boys are around here. I love you boys. You're going to do great things. It's going to be a hell of a ride.
Oh, wow. Okay. So when I took Bets over a year ago, I always heard the name Tyler. Really didn't even speak or see him until we started doing the auditions, where I also first hearing the name of Johan and then Riley. Let me start with Johan. When I first heard about Johan Blanco, it was a man who had never shown up to HTF pitching a fight show. Us in leadership were like, you're not getting a show if you've never been to HTF. But this man, weeks later, started guesting, and we started to see he's good. He knows his stuff. I'm probably one of the other few people that really like UFC, and my biggest thing when I took Bets over is I want to bring in sports that don't get a lot of coverage, that should. And Johan made that possible. Johan, you're one of the most intelligent human beings when it comes to fighting. I almost I almost cursed on air, and I kind of did. I seen you do your interviews for other fights on YouTube channels, and I'm supporting you through that. I was like, bet your life savings, and that line will live on HTF as Johan Blanco's saying. You're already making moves with Fox production, and like Johnny said, You have one of the hardest work schedules, and the fact that you're able to make it to bets on time and put up the quality and all the work that comes into making bets possible blows my mind. Both you and Tyler have set the expectation so high for the next round of bets hosts. Like, you need to understand that. I had all these ideas, and they wouldn't have been executed to perfection if it wasn't for all three of you. Now I'm going to say, Tyler, you are the man for the job. Again, my ideas could have not played out if it wasn't for you. I was new to producing when I took it over. And after the rebrand and everything, you guys were my go-tos. I wanted your advice, your input, your ideas for segments and talking points. And look what it led to. Everyone in the program agrees we are the highest quality show. People that aren't even in the program and then reach out saying, Bets is a good show. I love that you talk soccer and fighting, where yeah, we do get hit with copyright for soccer. We'll talk about that. But, like, Bets is on par, I would say, with some of the pro stuff. That might just be me, but I honestly think our quality is one of a kind. And I really hate to see you guys leave, but I know whichever you guys do, it's going to be great because you have this to look back on. And I'm really going to miss you guys. Never lose touch. I'm always here for you. If you need help, advice, connections. We're the Bets boys. Rocking all black today. We're going to be boys for life, all right? All right. I made a montage for Johan and Tyler, and play it.
By two rookies making their debut on Hitting the Field. I have Abby, Baston, Tyler, Karen. Abby, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Jared. Thank you for having me. And I had a great weekend watching, of course, UCF beat Georgia Tech on the road, and tons of interesting games yesterday on NFL Sunday. So much went down, so many injuries. It was crazy, but I'm excited to be here and talk about it.
It was a big sports weekend. Tyler, how are you doing?
Doing great. Glad to be a part of the show. Abby hit it perfectly. Great UCF weekend. A lot of interesting NFL news and stuff. So it was a great weekend to be a sports fan.
First segment, we're going to be talking about the Khabib and Justin Gaethje fight that's happening this weekend. I'm going to go to Elias Blanco first, who is our newcomer. Welcome, Elias. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Can't wait to talk about this fight. This has been a long time coming. We've been waiting for a main event like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second live show of the day here at HTF Network. This is HTF Bets. Today we have a packed show. It's game day here at UCF, so of course we're going to dive in to some of the lines of the game tonight versus Boise State. John, what do you think about the Rams this season so far?
Well, definitely the Rams are probably the best performing team of this season so far. I think Matthew Stafford has shown that LA is his home. Detroit.
That's you're too nice, because we're gonna draw the line here at HTF Bets.
Fine.
Now I'm going with the Bengals. I picked the Bengals before the beginning of the playoffs. I put that's brother love right there. But
well, it's a good thing I don't listen to you, because me and my boy Tyler right here have the same team.
All Bengals.
All Bengals, in. Baby. Joe Shiesty in the house. Woo woo. So I'm telling you right now, the Bengals are gonna win, and I would take the over on that. They're gonna have a field day.
Johan, will you go to prom with me?
Yes. Yeah.
Johan, come over here. Come over here. I have something to tell you.
No. Say no. Say no. Say no. No.
Johan.
No.
Will you marry me?
No.
Hang on.
Don't you have a girlfriend?
No.
Roll the clip of what I said to Alex earlier about messing with Johanny.
It's the bro. I'll come at Alex.
Johan, will you marry me?
Don't you have a girlfriend?
You don't have to know about it.
Okay, Tyler, show us. Wow, that's amazing. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Girl, I love it when we do it, turn you on, shawty, tell me if
Johan, who do you have? What odds do you like to win the national championship?
Well, listen, man, I'm telling you right now.
Here we go.
I've been a hater of North Carolina for the entire season, and they've been, they've been impressive this entire tournament.
Yeah, they have.
That being said, I am gonna go with the Duke Blue Devils. I am such a big fan of Coach K, and I need him to have this fairy tale ending. And I do think that, they lost to North Carolina in their last outing, which was very embarrassing, and I don't think they want to have that happen again.
Well, that was emotional. Okay. So I'll let Johan start.
Oh man. Well, first, before I start, I have to thank Robert Husby and Nick Gatiss for first giving me the opportunity to first be on Bets and for making my first appearance on HGFN. You guys took a big chance on me. I messaged Robert on GroupMe, in the fall of 2020. I saw that they were doing a boxing fight, so I said, hey, if you ever need anybody for fights, just let me know. So thank you guys for, taking a chance on me, and thank you for trailblazing the way for us three to be here. Riley, I think me and Tyler can agree that, Bets wouldn't have been what it was if it wasn't for you in that other seat in the far left. You could just tell the chemistry we have and stuff like that. And, I know you're gonna do, the show justice when we leave, in this center seat. Bets like the back of your head. We've hung out outside of class. I've seen your work ethic. I've seen what you've done for, stuff outside of sports. And, in a year time, I guarantee you, you're gonna be something big. Tyler. Oh man. They say that the most elite friendships are when the height difference is, the opposite. I think that's the case with us. I still remember in EJ1 where we got paired up for the project, and we had to constantly go 40 minutes to Titusville.
Took 5 trips to
5
Titusville.
trips,
the week.
Spent about $300 in gas, but who would have knew that we would have been here together, hosting Bets.
Yeah.
Who would have knew that we would have gone through nightly together with Taylor. If it wasn't for you or Taylor last semester, I don't know if I could personally handled Bets and nightly at the same time. And you and her are my best friends in this major, and I don't know what I would have done without you guys. Love you very much. I love you both. To Johnny and Austin, you guys took a big chance on me. I know that fighting is not a very popular sport. It's not something that a lot of people want to do or want to cover. And I know that it might not garner the most views in terms of, attraction, but you guys really invested in me to, put out the best content and inform people about the combat sports world. And, I can never repay you for that. And, I know that I know that my first time on Bets as a co-host, it was impromptu, and you know, we're not gonna get to the backstory of that, but you know, I really didn't know if I was gonna. I wasn't confident in myself to do it on last minute, but you and Austin really, you guys really believed in me, and because of that, you made me believe in myself. Austin, you know, you told me already, before the fall season even started, that you were kind of looking at me, and I appreciated that. You know, you and Johnny, you know, were the first people to kind of recognize me. You know, the main reason why I fully invested in HTF Bets was because last year at Universal Nights, you guys were the only ones to notice me in the HTF group. You dapped me up, and I forever am indebted to you guys. You know, last year I had nothing going for me, and you guys gave me the opportunity to be a co-host of this show, and you guys changed my life, so thank you. To my favorite guest, Luca. I hear you in the studio. I lost my brother 8 years ago, and you know, being with you for 6 to 8 months, I saw a lot of him in you, and that's why I'm okay with paying for your lunch and stuff like that and hanging out with you whenever I can, because I see a lot of my brother in you. So, you know, I know you're gonna do big things, and I hope, you know, I know you're gonna go far in this program. Thank you, Cameron, for being the best workout partner on Thursdays after the show. You know, I know that, you know, you're also the best person to talk hip hop with, so thank you for that. Thank you, Cliff, for introducing me to hitting the field in diversity in the fall of 2019. You know, I never was involved that much, but knowing that you thought of me was very touching. Thank you, Gadiel, for being a great, you know, one of the funniest dudes I ever met. Thank you for cleaning up my truck after you threw up in it. Thank you, Alex. You know, thank you for being the gold standard in hitting the field. You know, all of us look up to you, and you know, your work ethic, you know, inspires all of us, and you know, I just thank you for that. And thank you for being, you know, thank you for being so open to me, you know, talking soccer on main show, and you know, again, you know, if you ever need anything, you know, you could always hit my line. Thank you, Kayla Burge, for always supporting me in all the podcasts at 3 a.m. I see your comments. Thank you for that. You know, I'll always remember you, and I hope you keep in touch. And for anyone I didn't mention, thank you to everyone. You know, thank you for everything you do. You know, ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be in combat sports. I was either going to be a fighter or I was going to be on TV. We all know where I'm at now. But from the cameras to the production to the graphics to the playback, you know, you made my dream come true. And I thank you guys all for that.
Oh boy, I was hoping you wouldn't finish. All right, to start, I want to thank everyone who is involved and is in this Hitting the Field family here at UCF. There really isn't any other program in the country that does what we do, and there are programs that are run by the schools. This is all student, this is all on our, you know, volunteering and us wanting to be better and surround ourselves with like-minded people. So to everyone involved, thank you so much. Jarrett Kappelman, Sean Green, I want to thank you guys for, during COVID, taking the time to kind of plan out how to build upon Hitting the Field to make it Hitting the Field Network. Nick Geddes and Robert Husby, thank you guys, the OG hosts of HTF Bets. I can't even begin to explain how many episodes I went back to last year to watch those shows on Zoom to kind of try to find my host personality. And I thank you guys. Alex Funderburk, I still remember the first time that I met you. It was either in news reporting or advanced reporting, and I think it was you were in Collins class. I was in Coonerth, and I remember there's Alex Funderburk in the corner, and I don't know why, but you weren't one of the people that I went up to say hello to. I didn't really introduce myself. You were just someone else that was in that other class, and when we'd meet, I'd see you. I remember when I went in sophomore year for an interview with Mark Daniels, and I saw you in the office in the tower at the football field. I recognized your face again. Still, didn't take it upon myself to really go up, introduce myself to you, get to know you. Then I learned about Hitting the Field Network. I get involved a little bit in fall 2020. When it came around to spring, the first show, or one of the first shows I was on in the spring was Main Show, and Alex Funderburg hosted that show. Alex, you set such a good example for me and for everyone, even as back then when you were learning how to host. It's super inspiring. You're going to do such great things. I still want a 1v1 trivia with you for your crowd because I think that I could test you for it. But your sports knowledge, your overall personality, you're such a positive human, and you're going to do such great things. And like Johan said, you are such an inspiration to everyone. Kayla Burge, the queen of Girls on Deck, you are also kind of one of the first people that I heard of in the show through Greek life. We have mutual friends from my fraternity, your sorority, and I heard about there was this girl, Kayla Burge, who was one of the hosts in Hitting the Field. And that we kind of connected on that at first because, there weren't many people in Greek life here. And so from there, you're so talented. You've done such a good job with Girls on Deck. You're killing it with the American Conference internship job right now, doing softball and stuff. You as well are going to be so successful. Kelly, where you at, Kelly? I don't know. There you are. I'm going to miss stirring the pot with you, just like I did before the show by saying Malik Willis isn't the first quarterback off the board in the draft, just like I said when we were doing run-throughs of the March Madness show, and I said North Carolina is the Cinderella underdog sleeper team, and you came back at me with, how can Carolina be an underdog team? It's Carolina. Never stop being yourself and standing for what you believe in. Hamby, you are one of my best sports reporters when I was sports editor. You are one of the guys that you excelled in print, and now you're excelling even more in broadcast. We have a lot of similar interests and similar goals in our career. Keep doing what you're doing. You've done a great job with Hitting the Field. Gadiel, man, you are a guy. I didn't connect with you a lot at first. You're just one of the best people that I know. You put a smile on everyone's face. Your humor is just unmatched. And I was so surprised how well, I saw you progress so much, just like all of us, when you were on air and the content. You always brought it. You were always great to have on shows. As a business major, too, someone who's not even in sports broadcasting or anything, you've done a great job with it. Cliff, you were on one of the first shows that I was ever on. We have very similar goals as well. You had a lot more internships than I have, and I give you credit for that. And you still managed to do a lot of stuff and chase your dreams. I know that we both are trying to get in with the same organization. I can definitely see a spot where we are both there, and I look forward to future friendships. Hannah Jo, I'm not sure if you're here. I've never seen someone come into a family and come into a group and take over and produce as much as you have. You, I think, surprised everyone from this little sweet Hannah Jo who'd come on as a guest. She was in charge of the vlog, and now you're the host of Main Show. You inspire me every day. Luca and Camden, you guys got in as freshmen and you ran with it. Camden, your basketball IQ actually, it's very challenging to me, and I appreciate that because you catch me lacking sometimes. So I appreciate you, and you deserve that host spot on nighttime. And I'm proud of you. Luca, I know your host spot, is coming up next. And both of you guys, I'm just so proud of the impact that you've made. Johnny Jackson, I can't say enough great things about you. Where are you at? Right there. The amount of time that you invest in this program and the amount of life that you give and you produce for every single show. I know you said the best thing that you did was kind of let us run, and we all really do appreciate that you had that confidence in us. You're gonna do, like, you might be the most successful. You might get the furthest out of all of us just because of your skills that you have, your relationships that you build with everyone. You're truly an incredible human. I know you're gonna do great things. Austin, we had never really met before HTF Bets. And I got a text from Johnny one day asking if I was interested in being the HTF Bets host. And I was like, yeah. And at first, I was thinking I was auditioning for a spot. That original audition, like, up till the night before. And then we were all in a group chat, and it was like, no, like, yeah, you're going to run it, and then we're going to pick your co-host. So it means a lot to me to know that you and Johnny, you didn't even know me that well. And just from my on-time presence, you had the trust in me to take over HTF Bets. Really appreciate that. None of this is possible without you, Austin. We really don't give you enough, like, you don't get enough credit, like, on air of everything that you do. And I know if you end up with ESPN Next, wherever you end up, same thing. You're going to do so well. Moving on to my, I almost skipped over Taylor. That would have been sad. Taylor, one part of TTJ. First met you in EJ1 along with Johan, fall of 2020. From there, Taylor, you are such a strong and knowledgeable person. You and all the other ladies here in Hitting the Field, you stand for everything of, like, why everyone should support women in sports. You all are so knowledgeable. You're so great at what you do. I know you're going to kill it at Hitting the Field. Nightly would not have been the same without you and Johan. I don't think I would have gotten through it. A lot of times, like, that TTJ chat was the only thing that was keeping me going. So, Taylor, I thank you for that. Moving on to my bets boys. Riley, in that audition, I could tell with you immediately that there was chemistry there. There was your knowledge of NBA in specific, and then I could tell even things you weren't as knowledgeable about, you went out to put in that time to take the notes to make sure that you were ready to really audition. You still weren't fully up to date with all the betting terms and stuff at the time. And now it's crazy to see how long you've come. You're super confident on air. You always bring great content. There is no one else that I could picture filling this seat better next year. Johan, man. My Johani. Like Johan said, we randomly got assigned together. In EJ1, after 6-7 hours in a car with him in a week going back and forth to Titusville, found out that, thank you, Brunson, you put together a pretty good team. Went into nightly. Then again, the amount of just stress that, and like how much we relied on each other, how much I relied on you for nightly to get through it. It's unbelievable. And now when you took over in this host spot, you were my boy. Like, I was so ready to take on a host role with you. And that first show might be our best show with you on. That might be one of our best shows in the entire semester. In the entire year that we've been host. I can't imagine some more other guys sitting next to me than Riley and Johan. As for myself, I've been going on. I had a goal coming out of high school. I wanted to be a sports broadcaster. I wanted to be a play-by-play announcer. My first 2 years of college, got into doing print stuff with NSM Today and with other UCF papers. I still didn't have the confidence that I needed. I felt like I wasn't getting the opportunity for on air and to really find myself. Then I heard about Hitting the Field. I joined in fall of 2020, and that next spring of 21 is really where I really threw myself to it. And like I said, looking at the host then and being able to work on content once, 2, 3 times a week has made me, given me my confidence, has made me find who I feel that I am as a broadcaster. Hitting the Field has given me hope about my future because for a long time, it wasn't there. I was convinced I was either going to have to switch or I was going to have to be a writer for my entire life. and I don't want to do that. And hitting the field has given me the tools and the confidence. And broadcasting, you guys are family, man. I know I can't always make it if we're doing things outside of studio. I was really busy with stuff last semester with, like, I couldn't make the everything. I make the everything that I can, and I mean that. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. And yeah, thank you to everyone. Again, I would not be where I am as a student, as a man, as a person, and as ready for post-graduation as I am right now without hitting the field. I think this is the part that I've been dreading. That's all the time that we have for this episode of HTF Bets. One last time, your bets boys, Riley Sheppard, Johan Blanco, and Tyler CARON signing off.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay?